Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Wheeled in the Wild. And today we're going to be talking about procurement processes, sustainability, and the supply chain. And today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Andrew Douglas. Andrew is our operations manager here at Wheeled Packaging. And Andrew, you've been with us for how long now?
Just over a year now. Started in January 24. So.
Fantastic, excellent. Well, I think it'd be really good to tell the viewers a little bit about your role here.
Yeah. So I'm the purchasing manager for Wheeled Packaging. I've also taken over the operations as well. My main role is obviously source a sustainable product for Wheeled and make us most cost effective for the customer base. So yeah, that's my role.
Cool. And what does a typical day look like for you?
Really, the typical day at the moment is basically sourcing products, keeping pricing obviously absolute minimum without affecting our quality as well, which is obviously going from the previous industry I was in into this one. Quality is key. So it's really making sure that we get the prices to an acceptable price point without damaging the quality and high spec of the product coming into Wheeled Packaging.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of the products go into the food industry and everything like that. So as much as we want to be the cheapest around, cheapest isn't always the best, because obviously the cheaper you go, the cheaper the product. And unfortunately, as I said, we do delve in the world of sort of the cheaper side of products, but working on experience, I find cheap isn't always best, and ends up with a lot of issues that come with that as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've been here since January last year, and obviously you've brought with you experience. You've really changed things here for us at Wheeled, and just to explain a little bit about what you've done. So you've changed the reorder levels and quantities.
Yeah, so basically when I came into the business, obviously it was done a whole complete different way to how I would do things. It was quite nice coming into the business and being able to really set it up how I would do it without anyone sort of looking over my shoulder. It's nice to have that sort of freedom. It's my baby now, so as I said, I've introduced sort of real levels, which makes our stock inventory a lot more sort of manageable. You can see, obviously, the forecast and everything like on top of it. Not only that, is obviously putting structures in place in the warehouse on our operations side of things, making things a lot more efficient. We're gaining time, obviously the warehouse having time to really slow down and do things properly and precise.
Yeah.
As you know, we're currently looking into the BRC compliance as well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into that at the moment. So we're going for an audit in the near future, hopefully to get BRC compliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I think BRC is a really good step forward for us for the storage and distribution.
It's a massive step, and again, with the industry we're in, I think it'll be nothing but beneficial for the business, and definitely achievable with the current practices we've got within the business at the moment. It seems silly not to have the compliancy when we're already doing it. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always have the specifications to hand, don't we? And we've got really good processes throughout all the departments, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we've got obviously all the technical files, obviously certificate of analysis, CFCs and everything like that, including the BRC, obviously compliancy certs from our suppliers as well. So we're dealing with a lot of suppliers that are high standard, high spec within the industry.
Yeah.
That's where we want to get to that sort of level as well. So 100% achievable, and that's what we're working towards for the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big aim or the vision is to become, the number one supplier to the food packaging industry, and that is a massive step forward for us. And I know that with you on our team that we can achieve that. So,
but it also means obviously with today's industries, and obviously we have to adapt. Now, there are a lot of things that are sort of being introduced into the industry, which we have to be obviously reactive with. And the way to do that is obviously be ahead of the game, to be ahead of our competition as well. We've got to be relative and we've got to move with the times. So unfortunately, it's the way it's got to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what are some of your biggest challenges in terms of procurement then?
I would say at the moment it's price point.
Okay.
Now, with the government introducing PPT, EPR as well on top of that, it makes my job quite difficult because really at the end of the day, customer is all about the price. No one likes the price increase, and we do try and keep that as low as we possibly can. I like to think actually our price increases are very few and far between.
Yeah.
But that being said, obviously with today's economy and today's rules and regulations, there are obviously price increases coming in to the business. I'm very good at negotiating our terms and conditions, which I like to feel that we're as competitive as we can be. As I said, with the EPR, I'm currently looking at, obviously, instead of importing into the UK, looking at UK suppliers.
Yeah.
So, again, for the business, it's a great environmental, obviously, impact because we know we're not shipping containers over, it's not coming over on boats, etc. It's all UK sourced. There are probably actually two main suppliers we're currently using, and we're currently looking at reintroducing that into the UK. Bring back UK manufacturing is what I say.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we just touched on sustainability there, and obviously part of my job is obviously to oversee the whole company, but obviously NPD is a big focus point for us at the moment, and in terms of sustainability, with our core range of products like vacuum pouches, there's very little in the way that we can offer. However, recently, with sort of a bit of research and some hard work from yourself as always, we found some eco pouches, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now,
So we have got options, and I'm always looking for new innovations in packaging products.
Yeah.
I'm constantly going to exhibitions, and it's good to keep relative to the way the market's going. Now, obviously, again, that being said, is with the vacuum pouches, I'm currently looking at the paper look product.
Yeah.
Again, sustainable, eco-friendly, obviously good for the, well, never good for the sea, but it's a much better product for the environment. We're always looking to sort of improve our sort of plastic usage and everything like that.
Yeah.
With new, obviously you've got compostable and this sort of stuff, so we're always looking for new innovative products.
Yeah, and also I think what's good is that we've started to actually tell our customers what we're doing and why we think they're good and why we think they would benefit them as well. And it's all well and good saying, okay, this is an eco pouch and it's compostable and we've got the certificate, but actually we can provide the samples for that. We've got all the certification. And one thing this year I really want to do is be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I want to be answering these questions that customers and consumers are going to be asking us, but I want to get there before they ask the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think we're starting to become really good at that, and we're evolving with the times. So I'm really pleased with what we're doing, and the eco pouches especially, they've been really, really popular, and we've got sort of samples going out every day. We've got quotations going out. But for those, obviously, eco pouches come with a hefty price tag.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Obviously, as I said, it's a great product, and it's something that we are looking to move going forward. The end of the day is we want to be the company that everyone goes to for the right reasons, not just because we're cost effective and obviously the cheaper around, but it's also we're looking at the environment, making sure the business is actually trying to pass that message on of we do actually care about what we produce. Now, obviously, to get away from plastic, unfortunately, comes with a price. And this is, I feel, one of my frustrations is you kind of look at the product and you think there's got to be alternative out there, and you do find them, and they are out there.
Yeah.
But you've got to pay a premium for that, and maybe that's something the government could look at, incentivise business like ourselves, is that we're trying to improve our sort of plastic waste and everything like that. But when you look at it and you pass it on to the customer and say, look, we can offer this environment-friendly product, but the price point isn't going to be like a full plastic product. It's really bad for the environment.
Yeah.
It's something I think we all collectively as businesses need to look at. And there's definitely movements, and it's coming through the ranks, but it's just trying to make sure that we're ahead of the game and pushing the new products going forward. And I feel that we're doing that with like the paper look, obviously a new biodegradable products.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, and in terms of our suppliers, obviously you've introduced some new suppliers to us with your experience. You've brought them with you from your previous company. And we've done a lot of work with our existing suppliers, and we're able to buy direct as much as possible these days, aren't we?
Yeah.
Which I think is really important, because then in terms of a supply chain, there's sort of one less person in the supply chain, and we have overall control, don't we, when we're buying directly?
It's basically what I like to do is work as a partnership instead of a lot of things happens where our suppliers, it's a one-way street. In this industry, it's not, because we can collectively work together. So I've obviously been to see a few of our big customers, suppliers recently, to sort of go through working together. So we can supply them as well as they supply us.
Absolutely.
In turn, we look after each other and help each other out. Now, I've recently had a meeting with one of our biggest, obviously, suppliers of our, obviously, glazes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Spices on top. Now we've come to sort of an agreement. Is they supply current plastic tubs. Well, we're now looking at, instead of going, obviously, the plastic waste, once the tub's used, it's then obviously disposed of. We're looking at making the plastic tubs into cardboard boxes with obviously tiny plastic insert.
Right, okay.
Which will hugely reduce the plastic waste of obviously plastic tubs. Obviously, you can imagine having 50 tubs of plastic when you can have 50 biodegradable, completely 100% recyclable
sort of liners in the box.
Cardboard boxes as well.
Yeah.
Which is great for the environment. It's not. It's all obviously recycled product as well.
Yeah.
Great message on top of that. So yeah, we're always evolving with the suppliers as well, and we're working together, and that's really a key message for me. Is obviously I want to work with the suppliers, not just demand and take. We want to give as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with our product range, obviously we've got like over 3,000 products on the shelf.
Always growing.
You know, we can, we buy our solid board boxes straight from the mill. We can also, we've got the liners, which are UK made, to go with them. Yeah. So there's lots of things we can do, and we love working with suppliers and customers, don't we?
No, absolutely. And as I said, we're always working towards the end goal, really.
Yeah.
Which is, as I said, affordability, environmentally friendly and efficient. And obviously, really key is service as well, which I like to think that's probably one of our biggest messages in the business is we want to make sure our service is right up there. And I like to think we manage that and obviously keep the customers happy.
Yeah, absolutely. They're number one, aren't they? So,
absolutely.
So, how do you actually decide on what suppliers to work with? Because obviously, when we say to you, right, we've got this product, we know where we can get it from, but can you research if we can get it from anywhere else to make sure we get the best quality, the best price, etc.?
Yeah, so as I said, I'm constantly, each year, obviously I've only been here a year, so
But you've achieved so much, haven't you? Let's be honest.
I've had to start from scratch, basically.
Yeah.
Not taking away the way the business was run previously. It's just modernising it is the right word.
Like you said, it has to evolve and
absolutely
to get with the times.
The business is evolving, and it's evolving quickly.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. Exciting time to be in the company of Weald. Now, going with obviously answering your question is obviously I work with a multitude of suppliers, whether they're small, big. Obviously, it all depends on obviously really just looking at their message. When I meet them in person, obviously building that rapport and working together on how we can make that product and push that into the industry the right way. And obviously I feel that we do that, and as I said, working with suppliers that have the same sort of mentality as us. And I have to say we've got some cracking suppliers that are working on with open arms. As I said, perfect examples of knives recently.
The Victorinox brand,
Yeah, so obviously we've just had them in for a visit, and we've obviously struck a really good deal with them, promoting their product as well as them promoting us.
It's also nice to put a face to a name, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm old school.
Old or old school?
Old as well as old school. Unfortunately, as I said, the way with COVID and everything, working from home, teams and everything like that. Whereas I'd rather shake someone's hand, meet face to face, have that, build that rapport. And as I said, emails are good for certain things, but like I said, I prefer to pick up a phone and talk to someone. Again, you build that relationship, and you can have a bit of banter as well at the same time. Whereas if you punch it across on emails, it comes a bit faceless, and there's no sort of relationship at all.
No, exactly.
Punching emails back and forth. So, as I said, it's really good. And I have to say, with the majority of suppliers we do deal with, they're a bit like me as well, which makes things a lot easier for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of my favourite qualities about you, Andrew, is the fact that, you'll order something for us, but then you'll actually properly follow it up, and then you'll be on the phone if it's late. Because obviously if we don't get that product in at that time when we're told, then we can't sell it.
Again, it's all down to efficiency. Now, if we miss deadlines and obviously orders are late, that's again it reflects on the business as obviously our service to the customer. Because no one wants to make that phone call saying, unfortunately, your delivery is going to be delayed because of a late delivery into us. Now, again, looking at our obviously current model with our buying is, I like to think we're as efficient as we possibly can be. Because as I said, as soon as it's over our delivery day, I'm straight onto it. As much as the suppliers love it, I'm constantly smashing the phones and making sure that we're getting our products in time as agreed. And as I said, in turn, that gives the warehouse that notification as well. It gives them the chance to expect certain stock in. They know where to put it into the warehouse. Obviously, we're running barcoding system and everything like that on top of it. Batch number and everything like that. So again, it makes them run a lot more efficient. It gives them the time to sort of plan their days instead of getting deliveries in and not expecting it, and then they're scrambling around trying to find where to put these pallets in the warehouse. So, it's really good.
Well, before we sort of bring things to a close, I just wanted to ask you if you had an example of a time when you had an issue in your last year with the supply chain, and sort of how it was resolved.
Yeah, so basically, I would say the biggest one.
Don't have to mention names.
The biggest the biggest issue I would say that I've sort of experienced in the last year would be the EPR. Now, across the industry, that's become a problem.
So this is for those viewers that don't know what that is, this is the extended producer responsibility, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, obviously, the government recently introduced this to the wonderful world of packaging. Now, obviously it has thrown a bit of a curveball in because the information hasn't been sort of put out there as much. The businesses are sort of trying to obviously work out what they class as a large organisation, a small organisation.
It's just a lack of information out there, isn't it? No one, when we've spoken to people,
it's pretty poor. It's having to research, and lucky enough, Ollie Manning, our FD of the business, he's been really helpful working together to obviously get our heads around it, make sure we're compliant. That's probably the biggest, obviously, challenge I've had this year. Purely the fact because there's a massive cost implications to the business if we don't do it right.
But also it shows us that we, like in the title, extended producer responsibility, we are being responsible for what we import and what we sell. So.
And this is the good. And as I said, this is the good thing. It's working with the suppliers as our two main vacuum pouch suppliers were obviously abroad. We were importing this product. We're now UK sourcing it because we want to be more obviously responsible in the environment. Again, the relationship we've got with our UK suppliers, they're happy to work with us, and as I said, we're all working collectively to really establish a limitation because we don't want to pass it on to the end user. We want to absorb these costs before it gets to the end product. Now that being said, I feel, touch wood, obviously, that we've managed that and we're doing it efficiently and as responsibly as we can. And that's something that I feel that we've been really proactive with. It's a positive message for Weald is the fact that we're not only are we obviously making sure we're up to date with all environment compliances, we're working with the suppliers to make sure price points are as keen as possible. And that means forecasting, call-off orders, obviously keeping that structure in place that we're ahead of the game. And really, where a lot of companies at the moment don't really know what direction to go in. We're in that process, we're putting the data in and we're moving forward as quickly as possible to make it as painless as possible for the business and the customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's brilliant. Thanks for sharing that. Well, Andrew, that's nearly time up, I'm afraid. I'm sure you've got plenty to do.
Always got stuff. Always got stuff.
But no, I really appreciate you spending this time with me today and talking to our viewers about the procurement process and touching on a bit of sustainability and sort of your role in Weald and in the industry. So, and obviously we really appreciate everything you do for us as a company. Thank you so much. Yeah. And for those viewers who are watching us today and listening in, thank you very much. We really appreciate all of you following us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify or visiting us on the website. And please feel free to contact us anytime if you have any questions for myself or Andrew. And thanks for watching and listening. See you later.